but no, I figured it out. I felt a little naked having a timer countdown without a
song.
And we're going live on Facebook. We got about 8 minutes.
All right, the roll was almost big. I found a little box and I had tape in it. I didn't realize it. My die stuck right to it.
And it looks like we are live on the YouTube.
The YouTube.
Platforms on live? Wow.
So we should.
One step behind.
Reading.
So find your stuff and start sharing accordingly.
I'm gonna attempt it. I feel like last month for one month for some reason I shared it and then went back later and it was nothing.
Boo.
I only work on social media all week. Oh no.
Which is the preferred one to share, Tom?
You know, honestly, if I had a choice, if anybody, like, if the social media gods asked me which I'd prefer, I would always say the YouTube. But I also know that the outreach is a lot more on Facebook, so it's like, do we go directly to where we want them to go, or do we go where we should funnel them from? I don't know.
But I don't think the YouTube plays live in the feed. But if you share the Facebook event, it's supposed to play live in the feed.
That's true too. Yeah. So if you share the event, anybody who actually even scrolls past the event should have the video live. So it's the outreach is probably better on Facebook.
Here's a fun new thing. All these new pages Facebook has rolled out.
And it's different from it was last month, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you have to switch to the page to share it. You can't share it as your personal person as the page anymore. It's taking more steps than it should.
I just sent everyone to YouTube.
Do it.
I mean, we haven't really done like a hard launch yet on the YouTube channel, but I figured with 3 seasons of Pen Click, it's at least there's already enough betting so that when we do start doing our regular content, like weekly content, we should have enough content there for. So we're just trying to funnel people as much as we can.
I remember what the problem was. No,
Oh yeah.
I'm taking it down. And for some reason, the countdown it doesn't show.
Hello, human.
You know, we got a full house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the window opened up for the meeting. I was like, "Wow, it's a lot of people."
I know. We are. Here's the thing, weird. We decided a while ago that we should probably keep it to about 12 or under, like no more than 12. Which normally we'll take up to like 15, 16, 17 applicant like people, and we'll make room if it works out. But usually people drop out at the end. So we've had 12 people before. And we're like, man, we had to like come up with a pretty diligent plan to talk about it, you know, because I mean we've also filled like 2.5 hours with 6 people before, so you know. As much as we want to have like a plan, you know, especially if it's the beginning of a new season or we haven't seen each other in a while, like 4 people would be like, all right, it's been like 3.5 hours, let's shut this down.
Oh, guys, tonight, if you can, talk a little bit about your processes and like how you guys worked with like the things you did to get where you are with your pieces. Just, you don't have to like just a little bit, you know. Give a little tiny piece.
It's all text-based mid-journey prompts.
Nice.
Kill him! No.
So this episode, that's a lot to ask. I've actually been trying to rehearse a streamlined way of me explaining what this prompt, because this has been the most unique approach that I've had, and it was a roller coaster. So I'm trying to figure out a way to not take up all your time. I might actually take I might actually take the time lapse video which is already like an hour and a half long. So well, maybe not an hour and a half, but like I may have to do just a separate video or something, me explaining it. So hopefully I won't take up too much of your time.
You need to post it at regular speed with smooth jazz playing underneath.
Right.
There you go.
Well, that would
Do
be a
some
36 and a
ASMR
half
stuff.
hour long video of smooth jazz. I don't know if there's enough
And?
smooth jazz to occupy that much time.
Oh, you can just loop it. Nobody.
Yeah, okay, I can just loop it.
That's true.
Could you imagine my timeline reel of looping soft jazz for 36 and a half hours?
It'll be smooth jazz, soft jazz, hard jazz, fast jazz, industrial jazz.
It's the same song, but just different time signatures.
Yeah.
Jazz breakdown, because boredom.
Jazz breakdown.
Did it?
So many things.
Soft
to
jazz.
learn.
I just realized I made a lot of sketches for this.
Sketches are cool.
You just show those off.
Yeah.
That's part of the thought
I-
process.
I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, we're getting it. I'm getting it right now.
Ooh, there's so much art in the folder now.
There's gonna be more.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there is. Wait. Okay, there's some process photos. Like, there's more than 11.
Are we validating everything's on Facebook and YouTube? We are active.
I saw a countdown on Facebook.
Okay, that seems like us.
Yeah, I posted.
Yeah, a minute and a half.
All right, cool.
There was numbers and things.
Okay, because if I start spinning too many plates here at this point, then they might start falling. I don't know. Paranoia.
Even if you're helping share on, I said if Tremendicon doesn't go live automatically, they're going to share it after they go live.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Dave says, just remember the Facebook motto: none of us are as dumb as all of us.
we have 1 minute. We got 1 minute on my screen. I don't know. You probably have like another 40 seconds on top of that.
58 seconds, 57, 56.
You want me to update you every second? Because that's funny. That's like classic comedy.
Way wrong.
41 seconds. No, 40. Oh, damn. 39. 30.
Let me start over.
Hey, 7.
There was a Venture Brothers. It was like that where their dad told the kids to go and tell them what their little light was doing on the front of the computer console, and like it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. It's blinking, boys.
Looking forward to that movie they're coming out with.
Oh yeah.
I heard
Which
about
really,
that.
it's like he had more than enough time to finish it. He just kind of drug his feet.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, a movie would be good. I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, Deanna, you ready to rock?
Dylan, we can't hear you.
Oh, I was just. You muted?
Oh,
It's by design.
He was just talking to himself.
I was saying Venture Bros movie, but not too loud.
I was like, his sound went out. He looks really excited, but I can't hear anything.
But what does he say?
All right, it's
What is he
showtime. You ready, Deanna?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Count from 3, right? Starting now.
Now.
I actually pointed to your screen that I see you on. I'm dumb. Go ahead.
I saw your finger. It worked.
Yeah.
Hey there, fellow art nerds! And welcome to the Pin Clique. I think you were in here a minute before I started. But per usual, man, something's gonna go wrong. If it goes wrong early, maybe we'll fix it later. Anyway, welcome to the Pin Clique, episode 6 of season 3. That sentence amazes me every time I get to say it. It's so much fun. My name is Deanna. I will be your host for the evening of intriguing art we have coming for you. Thank you all for tuning in. Whether you're new to the Pin Clique or have been here many times, we appreciate each and every one of you. And if you are new to the Pin Clique, this is kind of how we work. Every month, we have a new prompt, and our Clique of talented artists take on that prompt usually in ways I don't expect. You think you're going to see one thing, they give it like 1,000% more than you ever expect. So if you're new, you are in for a treat. Everybody else is too, but you know what's coming. So anyway, tonight's theme is We Are Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo!
There's a new movie coming out about Dungeons and Dragons that when I suggested this prompt, the movie was supposed to come out the first week in March. I think it's March 31st now. So they've been put on hold, but the Clique will not be pushed back. We are still doing it tonight because it's on our schedule and that's what's going to happen. So, let me see. Oh, the twist we put on this one, they're not just drawing Dungeons and Dragons characters. We asked them to draw themselves as Dungeons and Dragons characters. I'm anxious to see if this made it harder or easier or per usual. Real quick, I almost forgot. Good thing I have a script in front of me. I want to acknowledge our 4 sponsors for the Clique. They help bring us to you. First of which is VisionCon, pop culture convention, has been celebrating fandom since 1990. We've got Tremendicon, the multimedia creators convention, bringing a playground to create and collaborate to Springfield, Missouri. Playco Games, a tabletop game publishing company, bringing small box, quick play, family fun games to your table. And Clever Kaiju, it's a production team of visual artists that collaborate and educate and inspire a community of artists both online and in person. And here at the Clique this evening. We'll be talking about each of them later in the show. You're going to want to stick around because after the show, you get to find out who we'll be collaborating with next month, which I know everybody's really excited about. So, right now, let me bring out the Clique and let Nate tell me when they're here. I can't see his screen. Is it more than me yet?
Nope. Yeah, you're good. It's everybody. Everybody wave.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. All right. Well, first off, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Gary Bedell.
Greetings, Internet Land. Good to see you again.
And our technical supervisor, so I don't have to do it, Mr. Nate Howard.
Oh, hi.
I both love it and hate it this season because it's nice not to have to be in charge of it, but I don't know what's going on the screen.
Right, and that's the thing is I'm orchestrating people who can't see what I can see, so it's.
I don't know what he's doing to us digitally right now. It can be anything. Back tonight we've got Haley Codling.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
We've got Josh here,
Hey.
Yo!
Daryl Clonch,
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Liv Gamble,
Hi.
and John Oxford.
Hello.
Back from season 2 is Miss Caitlin Blaine.
Woo!
We missed you this season. And brand new tonight, we have got, I don't know last names, Dylan Swift.
Hello.
And Kat R.
Robinson. Hello.
And we've got Kat M.
Hello.
This was fun this evening. We tried to decide how we differentiate between the cats, where Cat R says, how about Caitlin? And Gary reminds us, no, we have another Caitlin coming tonight. So I don't know who I'll be calling on. Let me see. I brought out the Clique. I introduced everybody. Said hello. Oh, just a quick question. What did you guys think of the prompts? I mean, was it harder or easier than usual to draw yourself?
The idea was very quick and easy for me. I've thought about this often. The process was different, and I'm gonna try to not take up too much of your time explaining it, but I'll do it later. I'll digress for now. But the actual idea and the very sketch and the very like the base of it went very smoothly for me. It was kind of a no-brainer. But
I took a poll to my friend group and had them choose my class for me.
oh,
And then
That's
because I have no idea about D&D. I was one of those things where I panicked on Monday again.
I had seen several of the artists I follow do a self-portrait at the beginning of every year. And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. I can watch my hairline recede.
you can change that though.
Well, yeah, but so I was actually kind of excited about it because it gave me like a hard reason to actually do a self-portrait, even if it's, you know, modified to an extent. So
Yeah.
I liked it.
Fun.
I get to peek, everybody. I'm the only one that gets to peek. I've seen half of them because everybody got their assignments in late. So.
I did not.
I would be surprised too. Here, I'm gonna embarrass myself. My daughter made me do a D&D character.
I'm zooming in on this.
Years ago, I played once. I stunk at it. I don't improv well.
You can't stink at D&D.
This is what I drew.
Oh my goodness.
You turn it. There you go.
I like it.
Oh,
That's
This
great.
is the reason people commission these people to draw their pictures.
What was your character in class?
What?
What was your race in class? Do you remember?
I got my sheet out because I have no idea. I was a forest gnome bard.
what?
Neutral. My name is Karamip.
Okay.
That's a good starting character.
Yeah. So Rachel Norton on Facebook. Hey, how are you? Saw you pop in earlier. Awesome to see you. Says it's great, Deanna, and I agree.
I,
Yeah.
I showed that before the rest because you like it. So in a minute. They had a great idea. I will be wrote. There's 11 of them. Cliff, you came in late, and they got me out a D10, and then you showed up. I'm like, crap, it's not a D11. We'll make it.
Yeah.
Someone will do a surprise. No, I don't know what's going on. But I put numbers by your names. This may be an episode where Gary doesn't go not first or not last. We'll see.
That's true.
We will see.
Gary, you're first.
Roll the one.
I numbered you guys.
Oh.
How you were on my screen.
Yeah.
It's-
There you go.
The universe is definitely not letting you get away with this one. Not this time.
Oh no, it's fine. I said that the fate is in the die, man. I have no control over that.
That's
So
how that game goes.
so I really don't know a lot about D&D, so I kept it kind of basic. I was like, well, I'm gonna go with, I'm not gonna go with sword. Well, no, I was like, I'm gonna be a bard. So I just kept it like really simple. But I was like, what would I have if I were a bard? And I was like, well, I don't want to fight with sword. I think I would do something like fight with sound instead.
You say
Oh,
turntables?
man.
That'd be cool.
So
Yep.
cool.
So like I'd probably fight more with like I call them song disc.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's accurate.
Okay.
And I carry them around in this little bag here. Of course, it is like a record bag because I actually do DJ.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I was like, oh well, that's what I would play, but it's like I had to stylize it that what would fit,
Yeah.
D&D. And I was like, well, I think it'd be cool, like if they could, if the disc knew like every ballad and song and drum beat in the realm, and like certain ones that mix together do certain things magically, like what I'm doing there with like these dragons. That might be two different songs, two different ballads playing next to each other or that are mixed together that do this thing. Think like Monster Rancher, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah.
Think kind of like that in a way, but with like these tools. So
Yeah, this is cool. This is very accurate. and I was about to make the joke, but I was like, it's not really a joke because I mean, I didn't take you as a lute player, so you know. But like musically, I knew you were very inclined, so I was curious how you're going to translate that. But that is cool. Like that's
That's such a cool concept.
yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I love how dynamic the whole like it's so dynamic with like the pose and like the stuff in the foreground and the background, the composition.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I want to keep it kind of like fast.
Yeah.
I felt had to look kind of fast, so I had to figure out ways to do that. And even the background, I didn't want it to be too much of a distraction. That's really basic, like light and shadow stuff with like paint blotches, and I just blurred it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it just kept like, it keeps like
great
the
depth of
motion.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels fast still. It feels like there's
Well, in
a
the
lot of
angle, it almost looks like you knocked the camera guy on his ass.
Yeah.
With the leaves, especially the movement of the leaves, add a lot to it too.
Yeah.
But the pose in the beginning, I was like, what am I gonna do about that pose? So I drew like
Oh, nice.
a bunch of different poses.
What an overachiever.
That was the first one. Well, I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I was like, well, shit. Like, how would those things function? How would I stand in combat with something like that? So I had to
Wait,
think.
did you stand in front of the mirror and make all these poses?
No, I did reference myself a couple times though, but a lot of it was, just kind of from memory, looking at pictures of other DJs and how they're set and stuff. So I'd like think of the poses in my head and then put them down as some of our references. But I liked something like this, but super dynamic out of everything that I did. I kind of like that one too.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of a little bit more with what I'm going with there. I think that actually was, that one was first, and then I did this one to elaborate on it to make the, my body a bit thinner. Because I don't know if you've been around there with a tall, lanky guy. So I had to make it like, a little bit tall and lanky. And then, came up with this.
Yeah, adding that bag, I think, was really smart because it
Yeah.
adds that more motion to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really amplifies kind of the physics of what's going on there.
So Rachel already corrected me. Well, it says I love the idea behind it. It's amazing. One can never have enough dragons. But apparently, my camera guy reference was false. It's scrying orb guy. There are no cameras in D&D. So thanks for the correction. Speaking of lingo.
Be canonical.
Right. Yeah. I played enough World of Warcraft. I should have known that. But
Yeah, Nate.
yeah, you're embarrassing us.
Oh. Yeah.
It's funny. No, this is very cool, man. I love how you like. I don't know. You there's a detail in this that I'll point out here in a little bit with mine, for sure.
Well, thanks for letting me share, guys.
Yeah, I made you made a full on piece. I did a half-hearted character sheet.
Oh, see, and that's cool, and that's
It's all good.
I think Caitlin mentioned that in the Discord. She's like, "Did anybody else roll a character sheet?" And I'm like, "Oh, that would have saved me so much time." I didn't have to draw it. I could have just given you the numbers. Like, this is why I don't do math.
I called her a nerd, and then secretly I was like, "That is a good ass idea."
It was a great ass idea. But...
That's bonus points right there.
All right.
Yeah, James. James is in the chat. He did in fact go first. It was the luck of the die. But we have to take Deanna's word for it though, because
I should have pulled up one on my phone so I could hold it up, but trust me.
We'll trust you.
Yeah. That's the first thing he said. It's like he woke up from a nap because the universe like shifted and Gary went first. He goes, "What happened?" That ain't right. Yeah, he says.
I'll take it.
We're gonna know something's up with my dice rolling if The next number's 3 because 2 just came up. And 2 on my screen was Cat R. I usually don't throw the newbies in this early, but are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
I attempt to.
All right. We got this.
I'll try my hardest. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
work with me.
Which one do you want to start with?
I'm gonna start with the sketches.
Start with the sketches.
Oh no.
No, you can share those in any order you want. Whatever makes you
Yeah.
feel good. We'll look at it all. It's
This is your show.
yeah.
Oh, I think I'll have to look at what I uploaded to the folder
Oh,
because it's
no.
not working with me at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, it's always.
Do you need me to share it or you getting it?
You can share it.
If you could share it, that'd be helpful. My computer's not working with me at the
Yeah, that
moment.
might have to be it.
Sorry.
It's
That's
only
fine.
at
No,
the moment
it's-
you need it to really work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides stuff.
Okie dokie.
Deanna's giving
It
inspiration
should
too.
be labeled Cat D&D pin click.
If we learned anything from season 1, we just got better at the mistakes.
well, there's 2 Cat D&D pin clicks.
Oh no.
You guys labeled them the exact same way.
No.
Who uploaded their sketches
I did.
between the 2
Okay.
cats?
Did we-
Mine should be labeled Cat Druid.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
Holy crap. Okay. Cat R, did you do 2?
I put in a couple there.
Okay. Okay. Which one do you want?
There are some sketches. So the Cat D&D pin click one would be good.
Okay. Actually, to move the show along, we're gonna go to the next person while I download these.
Yeah, that was
And
okay.
come back to you. Because I don't want people staring at me looking confused that long.
That's perfectly fine.
Whoa!
You're holding your action.
Is
until
it
next
3?
round.
It's no.
Oh,
You have 11.
So 12's you.
I showed mine.
So 12's you. She already showed hers, technically, yeah. She went first officially. Yeah.
The 5th one on my screen was Nate.
Nah, I'm 2 on your screen. Nah. I'm not gonna
No, you're
No,
still
all right.
on your screen.
Okay. On your screen.
Oh.
All right.
So I'm leaving it up to you while I download all this.
Okay. Not a problem.
All right.
So, actually, let's just start with the introduction here.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, so Slav.
Dude.
Smolder.
The hammer's fantastic.
So this looks a bit different on my monitor than it does on my iPad. I've been staring at it for almost 40 hours, 36 and a half hours on my iPad, and I got spoiled apparently by the resolution. So I'm going to be juking and jiving a little bit, trying to figure out, the lighting is a little weird, but yeah, so this is me. I always considered myself like a very like kind of boring vanilla, kind of like like lawful neutral or well like lawful good kind of person. I in my published works I'm an idiot man child, but I know that I have kind of like this dad of every band that I've been in. I've had, so so I don't know. Also it's I feel like the armor is a good fit because I've gotten fat and I would probably cover it up. So,
Nate, you need to calm down.
So this was it was kind of a no-brainer which direction I would go. And the sketch came to me very easily. And I, like I said, it was about 36 and a half hours. But I knew what I wanted to do, and this was what was most important, is that I know I have a very particular style for most things that I do, and I have variations of that style for mostly for like animation or for, cartooning or caricatures or whatever. And I wanted to get away from that just a little bit, just to do something different. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to. I've been dabbling in Procreate. I've been playing with different brushes, different color palettes, and a lot of these have been heavily inspired by all of you and all the shows that we've been doing. And that's kind of the biggest pull that I get from the pen click, is that I don't know, I'm more inspired than pressured to dabble in other things I hadn't considered before. Like, and this was just one of them. I wanted to do more like a digital painter type style, which I've dabbled in a little bit but never really finished. My collection of brushes, I kept them very simple. I actually just kept just round brushes. So I'm actually, and I'll get into, I'll explain that later. But with the round brushes, very soft and medium mostly. The frustration was that I manually painted in like my flats. For example, I had my sketch layer underneath all of this, and I started painting in my flats, and by the time I got all my flats in, I realized that it looks no different than my normal style. And it took me about 14 hours to get to that point, and I was frustrated. I was mad, like, because it was like, it looks no different. I could have just done this in like the 45 minutes it takes me to do it my normal way. I'd just delete my line layer. So that was frustrating. But I think Gary was.
It's a trick. That's a trick in the beginning, because you will think that, but you haven't even painted on it yet. You just
we were at Missouri Con, and I was starting this early phase, and Gary looks over at me and saw my face. He goes, "Dude, you're in the this is suck stage. It's fine."
Yeah, the land of suck. That's what I call it.
So about 10 or 12 hours in, probably even later, my wife noticed that I was in my own head, and she started talking to me and lifted me up, and I wasn't ignoring her, but I was listening while I was just mad looking through different brushes and different types. And I had all my flats in, and I got to this part up here, this section right here, which I know is not that fancy looking, and there's actually more detail on the iPad than I see here. But anyways, there was something about the shape language and just the way this worked that a light bulb clicked. Like it flicked like a certain, suddenly, like she got me out of my head just long enough for me to try something by accident that actually kind of got my head, the gears turning the way I wanted. So I went back through the whole figure and started applying different tones of fade, and it turned out to be that I didn't understand how the pressure sensitivity worked in Procreate. Which I know sounds stupid, but for somebody like me who works in vector, who works in like, like my shading is a heavy shape layered on top of another shape, on top of another shape. I build things, most of my art is in puzzle form. Light brush strokes, which is stupid because I'm a tattoo artist. I should have known this, but I didn't realize that that Procreate's sensitivity range with my new pen was very precise, and I was able to brush in textures and transparencies that I didn't consider for the first 14 hours of this process. So it was a bit of a eureka moment for me. The padded leather is definitely one that I'm happy about. I really like that. The handle of the hammer is another example of where I felt like it was working right.
Yeah.
And then I got a little crazy and was showing off a little bit. Actually, I gotta move this but there's jewels embedded in the mammoth hammer that I was pretty happy about.
That thing is so cool, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, that's me and my self-righteous hammer of vanilla.
When you said it took you 36 hours, I was really like, I don't know, I was super excited to see what you came up with. But it's so fast.
Thank you.
Rachel says she loves the padded fabric and she hopes you gave your wifey a good gift for helping you.
Yeah.
Draco says the colors are glorious and it oozes strength and power.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, thank you guys very much. No, my wife, I give her a lot of credit for. In fact, I have a sketch. She wanted me to do one of her, so I actually already have my sketch done of another piece that I'm going to continue and play with different brushes and try and get a little bit more practice on the weaker spots in this one and try and get them right in the next one. So I don't know, it might be a thing, but I really appreciate it. This has been a roller coaster. But overall,
Mother-
I knew I was gonna like it. I knew it was gonna be fine, but it just wasn't grabbing what I set out for until in 36 hours. I found out Procreate times everything from the canvas is open, so it's not like there's probably a time where I got up to pee or something every now and then, and it might have I don't think it was up. I don't think I had it open overnight or anything, so it might not be as long with actual work time, but it's really fascinating what that program keeps track of. It's kind of creepy. I had 14,000 brush strokes, which doesn't seem that much. It doesn't seem like that many.
I don't think I ever want to know that kind of information.
Well, I didn't
think I
want
better
to.
off.
Yeah. So my time lapse of this is over an hour long, which is weird. And I was telling Gary when it was done, I was like, "There's no way that you concept artists of this magnitude nobody can afford to do art like this. There's nobody that's going to pay 40 hours for a single piece of art. Like, there's no way that works."
Well, yeah, but this was your first time using that technique, so
Yeah,
you know, 3 more times you'll have it down to 8 or 10 or whatever, you know.
I believe it. Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of your painted stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're gonna go, I know you're gonna do more stuff like this.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see you just develop it even more. I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's me too. It's definitely a step away from the Bob Ross oil paints, which was a lot easier. but now that it's just understanding the tools, and you're right. I think next round it should go quicker, but we'll find out.
I love how your style, like usually, you know, you have your vector style illustrations, but it translates to this too. Like you open this up and it's like it's painterly, it's illustrated painterly, but it's definitely Nate Howard.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Maybe beyond the fact that it looks like
And that was something my wife explained. She goes, "Look, you're not going to get away from your unique style. People are still going to notice what you're doing." And it's just, it was just frustrating that I spent 10 hours doing something I'd normally do in like half an hour. I'm like, damn it.
I want her opinion on how accurate that smolder is.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for reminding me that. So Gary, I couldn't help but notice your eyebrow had some notches taken out of it.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna have to do a notched eyebrow counter.
I actually do have a scar from the car wreck on this side, but it's not really through. Well, actually, I have really pale eyebrows, anyways. But yeah, it's not even like a legit. But I do have that Jason Momoa smolder thing going on right now.
Momoa.
Yeah, the movie.
Well, it's funny because like I shaved mine in. Like right there. I don't know if you've seen.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I shaved my head.
For continuity. Anyways, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
What are the
We had
stats on that?
James Daly jump in earlier and say, "Hi guys, hi Caitlin from I'm gonna say it wrong. No.
Apparently, my wife is on YouTube and she's been listening. Cause your wife sounds pretty neat. Yeah, she's aight.
Hi, Dad.
All right, Cat R.
Yes.
I lost one of your pictures.
That's okay. I figured out how to
Usually
share it.
right next to download. So, Dylan, if you could re-upload it while I'm sharing. It's the one without the cloak on. Was there a finished one without a cloak on?
Yes, there was. I can do that.
That's the one that disappeared. It's not in the trash either. I don't know where it went. It's floating around.
In the ether.
Somewhere.
Dylan,
Turn
you
it
upload that. I can download, but I will start with your sketch.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Share. Not screen, share tab. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't realize we were muted. That is my sketch. That's the start of my ideas. I call myself Cat, and so I decided to draw myself as a tabaxi, which is a fantasy race within the D&D.
You're trying to do two things at once.
I'm trying to do two things at once. But yeah, they're just funny cat people. Kind of comparable to the Khajiits of Skyrim.
Sure.
If
Okay. Yeah.
you're a different kind of gamer.
Mhm.
Usually they have little cat feet. I decided to go the Puss in Boots route and just have boots on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that. And then I'm gonna upload the next one that you could show here.
Okay.
They'll
I
give
like
it-
the little sketch in the top right corner.
Mhm.
Yeah. A little. Yeah.
Those are nice preliminary sketches. Those are
Really?
nice. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Good your
Alright.
preliminary sketches, man. I just jumped in and started.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Rachel,
Yeah,
oh my
like-
gosh, that top middle face.
Sometimes I can start with or just going straight into it. Other times, especially with stuff like this, I like to do preliminary sketches just so I know what I'm doing.
Right,
Otherwise, I start noticing you know,
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
we saw a little sneak of this on your Facebook, like just really just the eyes of the left corner. So yeah, that's
So cool.
Yeah, I love those colors.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're a rogue.
yes, I am a rogue. Just normal rogue. I didn't look up any subclasses or anything.
Oh yeah.
Which might be jargon to some people,
But
but my favorite color is pink, so I used a lot of pinks, purples, and reds when it came to the design, and I just kind of like the general, you know, kind of color mixing that goes with purples and blues and reds.
Right,
It's just
yeah.
very grape-like, which
Grapes.
which I enjoy. Gave her a little a toffee pin, some thieves' tools, a favorite mug, and her go-to weapon, which is a dagger.
Yeah.
dagger of something.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like that belt. That's awesome.
Mhm.
There's lots
That's
of
design work.
Yeah, I love the toffees. Like the whole time I'm wondering
Yeah,
what these
that's-
snacks are. Those
Oh.
are so cool.
Yeah.
Your style really lends itself to like animation character design.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
like if this was simplified like a lot more, it would really lend itself to
Yeah. It
animation.
definitely has a Thundercats, like a more modern Thundercats kind of
Yeah.
vibe to it.
Yeah.
Well, just not even that. I'm talking more like the technique and like how the characters are broken down, the line
Sure.
work,
Yeah.
choice of colors. You know,
I would
it
totally see this moving.
really
Yeah.
lends itself to animation. So
I do
yeah,
appreciate it because animation is one of my biggest inspirations. Only reason I got into drawing was because I read a manga that talked about anime and mangas, and I was like, I want to know what that is. And then I got how to draw manga book at like age 9, and
I
started
probably have the same
Googling.
one. Was it Christopher Hart?
Yeah, sure we all did.
'Cause-
Are you ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one?
Next one is
I love that you did the line work all the same color too. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
makes it all feel so nice. Oh, Mickey.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
that's a very traditional animation technique of doing the line work in the same color as the flats. Like it.
This is so good.
For real. Love the characterization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put a lot into this. Like you have,
It's
you have like
very
full
real.
inventory. You have.
I know, right?
She's ready to play.
Yeah, no.
You
Oh,
know who plays, right?
I haven't actually looked at this one either.
What
so.
software did you
I
create?
like how you're see that's another thing that lends itself to animation too. Your character design is consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the last drawing or for what you showed us first, but definitely with the design of her or yourself, I should say, this drawing here, this piece, this is not a drawing, that's an insult. This piece you did here, you know, it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, not even you don't even have to see her face, you know that's the same character. I mean, the belt's the same, the colors on the belt are consistent with the last piece you showed us of the design. So yeah, I really think that your style and how you pay attention to things like that lends itself to animation. Well, and
Yeah,
especially, like,
absolutely. That's a
character
huge
design.
quality to have. It's so simple, but it's a huge deal. Absolutely.
Yeah. It make or breaks like the immersion into the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to draw a cool character, but to be able to replicate it several times over, especially
Yeah.
since we can't afford to pay you for all this work. Thank you.
I don't mind. But I have I guess I have a lot of experience just by pushing myself to redraw a lot of the same characters over and over again consistently, because I'm also into comic books and just general you know, illustration. It's kind of a requirement to be able to draw the same character over and over again consistently. So it's one of those things where I've kind of drilled into myself so that way I know, all right, this is what this character's nose looks like.
Right.
And I can always tell if that, you know, if certain parts of it are off or something looks kind of weird, which is nice to have.
Yeah. Well, that discipline
That's
shows.
a good
and
habit. That's a damn good habit to develop.
It's a strong discipline, especially in the very beginning, and also like because everything you make, you might be inspired to use for something else later, and being able to have that available and have that discipline in the very beginning, you never know what later on you could go back and be like, no, I'm gonna do this with it now, I'm gonna do this with it now, I'm gonna do this with it now, and you don't have to go in and rebuild it or redo it or fix the mistakes or anything. Like you had it right the first time, and you can do anything you want with it going forward. So that's a great habit, and it takes so much time and extra effort in the beginning, but it's absolutely worth it later on in the career. Like that's definitely admirable.
Thank you. And I think I put a process video of it in there too, but I don't know if it uploaded properly, but I think I could show it on my end.
Can you share it? I think I downloaded it.
You should
You should share that in the Discord. Like later on, you should share that in the Discord.
How long is it?
If you put it there.
It's like 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
I was able to condense it down from what it downloaded from. So it should go pretty fast.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Sorry.
Let's see.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I was trying to pause it so I could share my screen and was media player. All right. Here we go.
Yay.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
Little choppy.
That's okay.
Ooh.
What software did you use to create this? Create your stuff? Okay, nice.
What was it? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, I use Procreate for most of my digital drawings now. I used to use Clip Studio Paint as my main drawing. I had it. And then they started changing everything over to a subscription-based thing when you used to just be able to buy it and have it.
Yeah, they went the Adobe route.
Yeah.
Dude, that one color version, just that one like navy blues version of that would, being a vector guy, that definitely like that pings my radar. Like you had that one color version before you started adding all the that looks so cool. It's like a perfect vector like t-shirt or sticker.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things you can turn from this. It's impressive.
That's great.
Really
Excellent.
cool.
Yeah.
First process video we've ever had on the show.
Yeah. I mean, if it's there, might as well. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't remember.
Really? Didn't you share one of your like creepy thing washing his bloody hands?
Yeah. Procreate has an option that I just slide through and show the time lapse every once in a while.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You explained the process. Yeah. I never.
Gary.
Well, sorry. Well, first one we've had that long. There we go.
Yeah,
But it is neat seeing those.
Unfortunately, I made the mistake of doing my line work or doing my sketch phase in Photoshop first, just out of habit. And I'm like, damn it! Like, so I get to, so it's like I'm like, well, all right. They'll probably think I stole it from Google or something.
All right. Well, real quick. Oh, zoom in.
Yeah, see, James got your back. He said Haley had one too. Yep.
Hey, Vincent.
It was a while ago.
All right. Right now, quick commercial for Clever Kaiju. So, Yuri, Nate, give us the quick 2-minute commercial for Clever Kaiju.
Well, all
Hey,
right.
give them the commercial.
All right.
Commercial they make.
So Clever Kaiju is a visual arts production studio with emphasis on community outreach for other artists and education, whether they're people that are just starting off, just getting into art, wanting to casually or recreationally do art, or they want to get into like art as a profession, whether it's freelance or even like industry. But we also have people who are in like professional industry level artists. So we have people from the bottom that are wanting to learn and other people from the top that are wanting to teach. So it's an online community that we run through Discord. We are branching through our social networks with Facebook and Instagram. We have a soft launch of our YouTube channel, which has everything of the Pen Click currently, which I think, well, season 3 is actually live streaming straight to it. And really, this is kind of the soft launch for another phase of our online or our education platform, where we start doing videos, video content explaining everything from, mental health of being an artist, tips and tricks, software and tool videos, anything and everything that you could think of that a professional artist would want, things that we wish we had when we started. We want to build an entire like framework around that and provide it to new artists. So we've met in person. It mostly started online because of COVID. The Pen Click was supposed to be a in-person event at VisionCon, but that year is when COVID hit, and we did it online. And then from there, VisionCon insisted to keep doing it keep the content rolling every month. So we're like, could we do this every month? And here we have been for for like 3 seasons, and I don't really know if we can do it live. We tried it. We've got it kind of down, but
Or I just keep saying.
What's that?
More. I want to host again.
Yeah. No, the first time was kind of a mess, but the second time I think we figured it out. And it's like, I don't know if we could have done this live, but it's been a huge, like, Clever Kaiju has been an amazing, like, experience. Like I said, the 4 co-owners, it's myself, Gary Bedell, James Rutherford, who's in the chat, and Isaac, who is not with us right now. We basically we wanted to build something of our own, a studio of our own, doing our own work, our own properties, but we also felt like it wasn't really enough for us to just make cool things. We wanted to bring other people who are incredibly talented, who deserve opportunities to make cool things, and also offer a platform for other people to learn the correct way of how to build themselves as an artist, and just to understand the tools and the resources that are available to them.
Everybody check out Clever Kaiju.
That's a damn good commercial.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if it was 2 minutes. I actually felt like I had to stall a little bit.
That's okay. I had a lot of things I was doing in the background, so perfect.
I wasn't keeping time.
I'm gonna try to see 12 again, but I think I'm gonna have to go down to a smaller die pretty soon. All right, we have got. I can't tell. 9, I think.
Does it have a line under it?
It doesn't have a line.
Does it have a dot?
It has a dot.
9.
Okay, that's why I picked 9, because the dot makes it. Somebody was clever. It worked because I thought it was a 9. Yay! John Osborne is number 9 on my list.
Right. Right. Let me find
Draco, thank you for popping in. It's good seeing you. Hope you're well. Beautiful. I especially love the detail in the armor. I'm assuming that.
Oh, that's bitchin'.
Whoa.
Goodness.
That's really cool.
Whoa,
Thank
I
you.
love
This
the
is
colors.
this is a Warforged sorcerer. So I DM another game, and I've never done art for any of my own characters. This is a first. I've done a lot of art for my players, so this is a first for me.
Nice.
But he's strongly inspired by TikTok from Return to Oz. Yeah. Wasn't sure if anyone would remember old TikTok, but that kind of the spring-loaded mechanisms and the clockwork stuff was a big inspiration.
That is
wonderful.
Yeah. Oh man, I love those colors. Okay, you got to talk about your process for this.
The process was essentially coming up with a just the sketch here, and then just painting on it for hours. Painting on it for
And you
probably
shake.
8 hours last night, and then about 3 hours today. And when I started, it was a totally different color scheme. His exterior was actually kind of bronze, more similar to TikTok's, but playing with the color and changing it around, I landed on something that was felt a little more sorcery like. So
Yeah.
as
The
far as the color is
lighting
concerned.
is just on point. I love that lighting too.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that's up.
Oh, that surface treatment on that metal. Love it.
It deserves to be on the side of the van somewhere.
Wow, that is high praise. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was looking through all the races and all the different types they can be, and you just don't see as many people picking the robot people. So decided to go for that.
I love that.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun. I
so
really
cool.
enjoyed this.
And you use Photoshop,
Mhm.
correct?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that and the Cintiq. I actually last week my display tablet it was a Huon went out on me in the middle of the week.
Oh, that sucks.
And fortunately with Amazon you can get stuff pretty quickly, and I got a replacement and its screen was broken, and so I was like, okay, screw that. Went and got a different kind and thought there was a screen issue with that one. So for the last week I thought I was display tablet cursed. So this is the first time I've gotten to paint in a couple weeks, so it was a nice exercise.
How long did you have your Huey on before it went out?
Just over a year.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I had my canvas here, the 28-inch, for about 3 years, but like I'm mobile now, so I don't really use it as much as I was curious.
Loved it. I loved it. I think what it was it comes with this three-headed cable, and they called it in forums and stuff they called it the three-headed dragon, because it's just terribly engineered, and it's always the first thing to go out. It's some solder point probably in the cable that ruins a $300 display tablet. But
ouch.
Yeah, and just outside of warranty, they weren't much help in the emails.
Double bummer.
Yeah. But fortunately, we're past it. I'm outside of the curse now. I don't know who it's moved on to, so you guys need to watch out.
Oh no, this one was this one here was like 700. It was compared to the Wacom, the Cintiq, and it's just like for it was like 2,400, 2,500 for it. I'm just like, I'll take the risk, and it's lasted me a few years. It's been awesome, but I also know I don't use it as much, so I've been curious about other Huion users, like what to expect. I'm just paranoid, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a real thing to be paranoid about when you're using it, because you get so used to it, and then without it you feel a little bit lost. But
yeah.
I have another friend who uses a Huon, and his is working fine. So this is not a negative advertisement for Huon, but
we are not sponsored by.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we would be.
Send me a new three-headed cable, and we'll talk about it.
There we go. You can be bought.
Yeah, for real.
But everything about this is just so cool, all the way down to the shine of the metal. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a big fan of the endoskeleton from Terminator. I like that kind of reflective effect. So
Totally.
Yeah.
I guess it's the painterly style. I don't know. I can see it just on a magic card, and it's like probably some kind of like instant spell or something. It's like,
wow, thank you.
Dude, that'd
Man,
be so awesome.
I really appreciate that.
I don't usually think of robots with toes.
Oh, they gotta have toes, like RoboCop. RoboCop's foot. He's got one big toe on it.
Put on
Yeah, I guess I don't know why he'd need toes, but shoes looked weird. Shoes looked weirder, trust me.
His whole body's a shoe.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of Donato Giancola's work?
I have not. It doesn't sound. I might have seen the work, but the name doesn't sound
I
familiar.
guarantee you've seen it.
Huh?
No, I was just gonna say I guarantee that he's seen it if in this realm of stuff.
Oh yeah, no. Well, he's been working on it recently in his massive career. But he's been doing the like robotic people type thing. It's beautifully done, and this reminds me a lot of it.
Well,
like he even does toes, so it's not that weird.
See, the Warforged apparently have toes. It's for greater grip strength. It's that dexterity modifier.
There you go.
We have to keep canonical.
That's how he's gripping those two rocks. Anyone else would have fallen off. It's those toes. They're locked in.
That's how you spell his name. If anybody wants to Google him.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
He was at Planet Comic Con a couple years ago, and I bought a tutorial DVD that you can see I've studied profusely still. But I have it right here just in case.
His paintings are massive. They are massive. I don't know if he's going to be there again this year. I hope
don't
he
think
is.
He's on the list. Yeah, he's got a mermaid series that's pretty darn awesome.
There's that one too, and his Lord of the Rings series.
Mm-hmm.
Does he work traditionally then? If his paintings are huge?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he works traditionally.
And he's he's one of the few magic artists that somehow managed to finagle it where he can still sell prints like of his magic stuff.
Oh,
because most of them they don't let him, but he gets away with it somehow.
That's cool.
They probably approached him first and begged.
Well, thanks for letting me share this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you,
That
man.
was beautiful, man. There
Thank
you go.
you. Thank you.
Man.
Alrighty. Let's see who's next. Gary again.
Sorry, guys, no more art.
Well, I guess that'd be number 11 then if it was.
Let's go for 6. The other 9.
Yeah.
That's Cleveland.
Woo! Okay. Here. Okay, so yeah, I didn't do as much prep work as some of you other wonderful artists did. I just kind of jumped in and started drawing, but I did put some thought to what would my character be if I was in the D&D world, and so I went with Druid because I love animals and I geek out about plants and keeping them alive and all of that good stuff. So let me share my screen.
Oh my
goodness. There you
your
are.
kitty cat too.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got my cat here, who usually is on my shoulders, as well as my dog. So I've got my animal friendship spell going here with one with nature. I've got a little health potion, quarterstaff, my bag, maybe a bag of holding. We don't know.
Might as well. I mean.
One of my first characters playing D&D was also a druid, so it felt very fitting that I draw myself as a druid. Since then I've played a lot of different classes, but druid's one of my favorites. So yeah,
I love the line work.
thanks.
The costume looks great. The colors are great. That line work, so cool. Especially like where you do your dark spots, like with the shadows and stuff.
Yeah, so
excellent.
I kind of did a mix. I didn't step too much outside my comfort zone, but there's my loose sketch and then a tighter sketch on top, and then I just kind of jumped into those are my colors, but where are my inks?
I thought you said you didn't do prep work.
If you want to call that prep work.
You did some work. You didn't just sit down and just draw something.
Right. So yeah, I did kind of because I do most of my illustrative work is in line with comic book stuff, since that's what I'm drawing like all the time. So I kind of just fell back into that style. So I did a lot of spot black inks, throughout it. And then process-wise, I just have a folder of flats. So working in clip, these are just all clipping masks.
Oh, look at all those clipping men.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's got a designer brain, that's for sure.
I did play around with doing some some gradients. So even on my flat layer here, you can see I did a gradient and some spaces. And then I did play around with some of the watercolor brushes for my different clipping mask layers. So yeah, got kind of a watercolor texture going on.
Yeah, I like those brush strokes. Those are good.
Yeah. The lighting is so good too.
And you can tell exactly what kind of dog that is by the way
Right,
you render
yeah,
that
just
coat. That's perfect.
Crazy dog with too much energy.
Like it's Australian Shepherd, is that right?
Yep.
I have
yeah.
a Obi is a Aussie Beagle mix, so yeah, they're off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a German Shepherd Border Collie, and he's nuts.
Yeah, he's actually at my feet right now. He's like just turned 11 months old, so he's super puppy.
He's so happy looking.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then background, I totally just, did it in like 5 minutes with a bunch of ingredients.
That counts.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
So
Something I like about it, it's not very like I don't know, like basic druid where they're covered in like leaves or grass or fur. It's like it's a designed outfit. It looks good.
Right, yeah. I thought it has a ranger twist to it for sure, but I can definitely see druid too.
Yeah, that was my third character was a ranger. My second was a bard, but it's a mixture of all of them, I guess. So, yeah.
There's got to be some sort of like personality test in there, right? As to which races you shoot all the time.
Right? Yeah. I just started a new campaign just a couple weeks ago, and I fell back to going to Bard. I was like, Bards are so much fun. Like, I'm just gonna play Bard again.
I've always played monks and rogues because I was like much different framed then, and I was spindly, so it just made sense to me. Actually, my rogue was a female, so that take that how you will. But I understand what you stick to what you know, and I've never really played a paladin. I just kind of figured that, the one thing, okay, and this is something that's interesting though, is like in 5th edition, I guess they got rid of like paladins having to choose a religion, which was the only hang up I had. I'm like, but they have orders where they're like they have loyalty to a certain order, and the one of them was actually like camaraderie, which was just supporting others in like an overall goal. And I'm like, that's kaiju in its whole cool. Like I'm a paladin of camaraderie. So I didn't know, like, how many of you have actually done characters based on what you know versus who you actually think you are?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a question. I didn't know if you guys actually had an answer or not, but
I don't know. A part of playing D&D that's really fun for me is getting to role play characters and situations I normally wouldn't put myself in. So
I see.
having like a character backstory and
yeah,
I wouldn't choose to do this, but my character is going to, So it depends on how you play the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my experience, it feels like every character that I make always has a piece of me, but not all of me.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I would never do crime, but
let's do crime.
But it's fun to think that a piece of me could, become a criminal if I wanted to.
Well,
have a little fun.
There's a difference between a thief and a rogue. It's a little different.
If that shopkeeper had only given a discount.
Yeah, I mean, I can't play any musical instruments, but here I am playing a bard, in a D&D campaign. But
There you go.
That's fair. Music is subjective. It's
sometimes I recite poems. It's fine.
I thought about bard too, but I'm like, meh.
Okay.
And James is wondering. He says he Bet she can river dance well.
Yeah.
And Rachel said,
Irish fruits. Maybe that's where the green comes from too. I don't know.
maybe. Well, Rachel says it looks like she'd fit in well with the animated Critical Role show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, if they're listening.
Yeah.
You could also sponsor the show.
It'll be awesome. Although I've been more quiet than usual tonight because I'm just lost in it kind of thing. I loved the cartoon as a kid, man. I need to rewatch that. I'm obsessed with it.
Hey, we gotta do a commercial before
we gotta.
we were rolling.
All right.
We gotta do commercial.
Next
Sorry, guys.
up is I'm gonna talk about Tremendicon. Woo! And I've been multitasking way too much this episode. Okay, I threw this together. So far, Tremendicon has announced 7 guests.
Ooh.
Oh, there you are. So.
Well, there's 11 of us. Sorry. Continue.
Clever Kaiju and
Oh.
Daryl, who's here tonight, have been announced so far. So Clever Kaiju is technically 4
Yeah, that's true.
artists. So that's 3 more. Do the math. I don't know. Where's my sheet? Let me tell you real quick about Tremendicon. It is a 3-day multimedia creators convention coming back to Springfield, Missouri for the 2nd year after a very successful first year. It is going to be July 7th through 9th at the Oasis Hotel and Convention Center. Tickets are for sale. Vendor booths are for sale. Club tables are for sale if you guys have a group you want to bring. Tremendicon is described as a playground to create and collaborate. Put on by creators, for creators, and the people who love those tremendous creations. So they will be offering panels, seminars, workshops, and all kinds of content for artists, writers, game design, cosplay, comic books, makers, and multimedia, which includes theater, film, music. And there will be a kids track. So families, bring your kids in and help you turn them into nerds, just like we are. Oh, I have to mention they are a nonprofit run completely by volunteers. And the 80% of the profits go to Ozarks Food Harvest, a local here in town. Sorry, I'm also chewing a cough drop. I apologize if you can hear that. My throat is sore. The remainder of the profits after that go towards efforts to support and encourage people pursuing a field in the creative arts.
Yeah.
So all around, just creators encouraging others to make more creators.
Well, what was neat last year at the show? There were a lot of collaborations that came out of that show.
I'm excited to see that this coming year.
Yeah, I can see it happening every single year at that show.
And it's going to be bigger and better. There are, I threw Cullen in because I just needed to, we haven't officially announced Cullen, but he's going to be there because he's helping us put it on.
Yeah.
And I just love a picture of him. So I threw him in to balance out that graphic. But
that works.
July 7th through 9th. Get your tickets now. Follow them on social media. Check out the website, tremendicon.com. Because there's a whole lot more signed agreements that have come in. We just haven't announced yet. Lots more to come. And back to the show. I went down to a D6. Left. And 3 is Miss Haley.
Whoa.
Ooh. I've had a scratchy throat all day, so I apologize. So, like I said, I did a little poll in my friend group's messenger Facebook chat. And lo and behold, they chose Rogue, which makes sense. Surprise, surprise. And then I was just looking through all the different races because I don't know much about D&D.
There's some really cool races that I didn't even know of. Yeah. There's a dragonkin or like a
So
dragon
I'm
face.
gonna
Oh.
show my sketch first. Okay, you're good. Calm down. So this is my half orc rogue. Less looks like me, more what I want to look like, I think.
I see the hair for
But
sure.
these are all the like references I used on the side, different things like that. And
That's really
then I took that sketch, which I did in Procreate, and brought it over into Clip Studio and finished it up in Clip Studio.
nice. Look at that.
Love
Oh,
the
I
arm
love your
gradient.
silhouettes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
good
awesome.
good silhouettes.
You know, for scale, like that's.
I love that.
She's a big gal. She's tall. Got big boots. I wish I had like more to say, like, and then this is this weapon that does that. I just want to make a cool design. I just want to make myself look cool as a D&D character.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Yes.
I like the feathers, the random
Yeah.
feathers. That's awesome.
The armor looks really good on the legs and
Yeah.
that shine.
Maybe the arms and the abs look tight.
Yeah, she's
Very
definitely.
Weapon
similar.
design. The weapon
Yeah.
design is just love that.
It felt a little strange to have an axe for a rogue, but meh.
No,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean, that's the
made
thing.
up-
If
it's a
anybody could, it
fantasy
would
world.
be a half orc. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing rare for like two-handed weapons to be wielded with a single hand. You know, like it's.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
looks
Have some kind of silencing.
Silence
Right.
acts.
It's like maybe
That's how you do
the heavy,
anything.
heavy armor boots, you're pretty stealthy, so even with those.
Yeah, you know, I never really understood orcs. Why would they even want to be a rogue? But
Yeah, maybe it's just like the most rogue that an orc can be. You know?
where they'll
She's
mug
doing
you
her-
to your face, but then disappear quickly. Like that's.
There's another eyebrow, notched eyebrow.
Yep.
Oh, see, it's a trend.
Favorite 3.
Everybody's got it.
So cool. I love that.
Rachel, she looks badass.
Yeah.
I love the gradient on her arms. Yeah, from Rachel.
Yeah.
So that's,
Awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Nate and Gary have probably seen it, but I have a tattoo pretty similar on one of my arms. So that's
Yeah.
just kind of my tattoo design on both sides. But yeah, the process is I just do it all on one layer and paint it out. I have a hard time keeping track of layers, so
Yeah.
You're just
That
chaotic.
that shape language and silhouette is just I'm sorry, that thing is just
Yeah.
awesome looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew if I was gonna go dark, I at least had to make the silhouette pop because I know there isn't like a huge contrast difference in like the armor and the outfit, so I wanted to make it in other ways.
Yeah, she's G'd up from the feet up.
No, it's not an issue of like all the blacks and darks blending together. They're all very different textures and sheens
Yeah.
and whatnot. It's like tell what it is. It's so cool looking. Oh,
And it's got my favorite design feature, one pauldron.
one.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, that,
Oh, yes.
Oh, I gotta get a closer look at it.
Oh, hey, Gary, is one of the
It's-
cats in your room with you?
Was
Was? Okay. Lauren was asking.
that's hilarious. Oh, you're right there. Just come in here and ask
She
me.
didn't want to be rude. Besides, she didn't want to miss the show. She's, commenting on everything else, too. So.
That is true. But no, there is not a cat in here.
Oh, this is really cool. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't have orcish features at all, but you are definitely in this design for sure. Like
Yeah.
the hair and
Yeah.
the tattoos and the just I don't know, like
Even the
Goodbye.
earring style.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of inflection of you, but it's a good mix for sure.
I'm glad
Man, I
you
wish I looked
clarified
like
that
this.
she
That'd
doesn't.
be cool.
I'm curious process wise, did you create the small silhouette? Like, did you create the silhouette first before you went in and
I
had the
duplicated the painting and then basically just blacked it out to
Okay.
check
Oh, I
on the
see.
silhouette to make sure that it looked good. And then I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And so I was like, I'll do a size chart, to
Well, that's opposite of the process for a lot of people with silhouettes. When they get the
Yeah.
shape language, then they expand on it and they blow it. So I mean, really, you kind of did both sides of the fence at the same time to swap back and forth, and that's clever.
That's
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of understanding the rules so you can break them.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me see if I can find a way to stop broadcasting. Smooth. Did it.
Great stuff.
Very good job.
Oh, I forgot to mention to you guys. I think I forgot. Maybe I told you earlier. Some of you. My daughter Amber, who's tried to get me into D&D, she and her husband Jeff mentioned. I think it's called a one-off campaign. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
one shot?
One shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, or Amber volunteered Jeff. Hey Jeff, if you're watching, possibly run a one-off campaign sometime for you guys with these characters.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I would love
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Pretty balanced team so far.
Yeah.
But 12
No.
people.
That's a big group. Yeah.
All right, well, next up, we're going to do Dylan. Now, did you
Me?
start your stuff?
I think we got
I think
it.
I can do it.
Okay, let's.
I need to
let's-
see.
let's
It's
try
been
it.
a while.
I didn't know what order those go in.
Right. And then, oh,
Oh goodness.
we gotta open up system preferences.
Hold on. There you go.
Okay.
I have them pulled up if we need be. They just might be out of order.
Yeah,
That
I'm
might just be a
sorry.
little smoother. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I came in here saying, no, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing.
Hey, it's the first time. Next time we attack you. This time you're good.
Right. Yeah.
It's in downloads. Okay. It's gonna be in the order they popped up when I downloaded them, so hopefully it's
Okay.
correct.
yeah.
There should be one full color one in there, and that will be the one I think you want to start with, right?
Yeah, we'll start with the color one.
Cool.
Oh,
Uh, Well, that's one of the sketches. So that was this sketch that I ended up with for one of the other pieces later on. They're not very good photos. I'm sorry, I took it with my phone. But
All right.
okay. Yeah, I mean, this was one of the later sketches, so it's kind of hard to like tell the context of it. But like, this is when I decided that we'll go orcish fighter. Because when I did like what was it, some kind of poll to see like what you are, I got half elf wizard, and I was like, no, no. Because I did a couple sketches with like the pointy ears, and I was like, well, I like apples, so maybe I'll have like a poison apple as like my weapon of some kind. I was like, so, I don't know. But yeah, that's another one I decided with, where it's like I used to have very long hair. It was like probably down to my shoulder blades, and then it was just too much to deal with. So, but
I hear you.
it's a fantasy character. You can't have him with no hair. That's not fun. There's no dynamic flowing anything. But I did get a peek of Cat's design, so there's like Cat's rogue back there.
What?
I got my
What a
friend-
cameo.
Looks.
But Oh yeah, so I was like, maybe I'll be some kind of swashbuckler or some kind of rogue. I was like, that's just me with pointy ears. It's not quite very, you know, it looked like like the NPC.
I mean, it's
Not
still
really.
valid. Yeah, it's still valid though.
Yeah.
And this,
You can be an
It's an
NPC.
apple.
I was like, ooh, what about like a pirate half elf wizard? I was like, I don't know. Like it didn't really click though. A lot of so I was struggling. I was struggling with this prompt. Like clown, jester, funny man. But yeah, no. When we were talking earlier about like, was this an easy prompt or a hard prompt? It was tough. It was tough for me.
I mean,
I'm not really used to drawing myself, and it's like, oh, now draw yourself with pointy ears. It's like, oh,
Neither.
you kept the curled mustache consistent though, so I think you were on the right track from the very beginning, and you didn't know.
He lost his mustache sometime last year.
Yeah,
I mean, I curled my mustache at the last minute. It was within the last like 20 minutes because my wife doesn't like it when I actually curl my mustache, but I think it's pretty cool. So I'm with you. I support you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, hello.
No.
There's you.
So when all else fails, do an entire scene. Is that?
Because I was thinking about like those like older like big fantasy paintings of like what you'd get on the cover of the book or whatever. Like this is the vibe kind of thing. And with this one though, these are interpretations of all my friends who've just kind of pulled me out of all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
So here I am with some kind of, you know, pit fiend or whatever. There's the cavalry kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I could get into it, but yeah, my buddy Jeremy, he's the one with boots of flying up there because right now he's a helicopter pilot up in Washington for the Army. So it's like he's trying to get stationed back around in the Midwest, but you know, that was basically what he had when he played D&D. It's like, I'll just be a guy with a pointy, funny hat and boots, I guess. Kind of.
Can't beat the classics.
Yeah, I mean, the process with this one, I wanted to keep this one pretty scratchy, pretty simple, kind of like something you get in between, you know, the pages of whatever DM's guide you're looking at.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like you look at older books like second edition and whatnot, and it's very like deep and scratchy, borderline comic booky. But yeah, I mean, I'm an orc fighter or half orc, I guess, because you know I'm not 4 feet wide. But you know, I didn't really. I don't know. For me, having a design that's super complex with like all kinds of like flourishes and buttons and whatnot, after making a bunch of comic pages, like I don't want to keep track of all that. So efficiently simple designs is what I like. So with this guy, he just has a kettle helmet, gambeson, which is just like cloth armor, boots, and Assassin's Creed 3 axe. So pretty simple. Because that's my favorite. Oh, but yeah. Oh.
And then there should be a in color.
One more, right?
What's up? Oh,
There he
there it
is.
is. Yeah, so there he is in color.
That's good.
It feels like the old Dungeons and Dragons stuff, like
Yeah.
the old stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You got
There's
that
something
apple.
so charming about it.
Especially that last
That's-
piece.
I'm getting some like Geralt from
Yeah.
vibes with his armor,
Yeah.
hair.
I do like myself some Witcher. I do like. Oh, but yeah, you know, and nothing too crazy. But I was like, I gotta keep the apple somewhere. You know, I like apple. But, I don't know. I was hesitant to be like, oh, I'll just do a half orc barbarian because I do the barbarian comic. I was like, man, no, I'm not
No.
angry.
I love how you're just insulted by your own ideas. Like, it's no. An apple that kills me? Get out of here.
But and what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, what different characters have you played as, kind of thing. I've mostly played either fighters or rangers. I played a barbarian once or twice, and it's just like, oh, I mean, I like it, but I think I did wizard once. No, there's too much to keep track of. I don't like
Very
it.
complicated.
But like with fighter, it's like, do I pick a shield that I can hit him with, or do I pick an axe that I can hit him with? And then I'll have a bow that I can hit him with. I have so many things to hit him with. I guess one more thing though, when it comes like the colors and whatnot, because I used a mixture of different alcohol markers with this. There's one color I have, it's like olive something, and I never get to use it because it's too green or too yellow for like flesh tones. Like, I guess I can use it for plants, but for a green skin tone, it works great for hair. And I was like, finally, I get to use this marker. It does,
Right.
which I don't really have.
$8 well spent. Finally got it.
There you go.
And the windmill was free-handed. It looked too plain, so I was like, I'll just put a windmill or something back there. It works. It looks good.
It helps point to the figure too, which is
Right,
nice.
Yeah.
I love all of the pieces that you just walked through. Like there's like a story in your process, but then there was also a story like within the art pieces themselves. And I don't know, that and it like encompasses D&D because you're just creating a story together. So it's really charming. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool to see it evolve.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, yeah, we did look at all the sketches, and then, yeah, that is cool. Because if I was going to do it, I probably would have done it the other way. Showed the finished piece, and he comes back again. Showed the finished piece, and then
No, that's why.
No, it built up to like an amazing.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Oh, now I'm all red.
I think we have time for one more artist before the next commercial. All right, Josh.
All right, here we go.
My man's been waiting.
All right. Share content. Screen.
I have to talk out loud to make things happen too. I love that you do that.
All right.
Nice. Screaming.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this prompt. It was definitely interesting to see like what I was going to choose as my class and my race. So I've done 2 campaigns, kind of. I did one start to finish, and then I started one, and schedules got changed around, so I couldn't end up finishing it. But the first one I chose was like a wood elf, and then the second one I chose was a human. So I was gonna go ahead and do a human again, and I think I did a ranger for my first one, and then I think I also chose ranger again. So I wanted to do something completely different this time, and also my partner helped me out. She was like, "No, you should do, like, you are a human. Why would you do that?" You know what I mean? So I was like, "Okay, you're right. I'll do like a half orc." So I chose half orc and half elf because I like some of this goes on with that.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. I have done drawings of myself recently a lot for some weird reason. I'm like, okay, yeah, anatomy, you know. So I just took a reference photo and then drew from that, and then here's where I ended up.
Did you have actual
like a little app called Manga Paint, and it's just, you know, it's a free app that you can just download, and I just have a couple of layers. So I did the background in one layer, and then all of my like figure colors on another layer.
Oh
man, I love all the variation in like material from the metal to the cloth to like the torn cloth and the chainmail wrist guard. Really cool.
I have the little money pouch on the back.
Yeah, I've got like a little purse in the back, and then like a little. I don't know if you guys have seen the old Hellboy where they fight like the tooth fairy kind of things.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking with the skull. So it's like, okay,
Awesome.
cool, I'll do that. This is like a a war trophy or whatever.
That reference pose was executed really well too. That's really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, really nice.
Yeah,
great.
Yar, the illustrator,
Yeah,
when he posted that thing about the way like metal shines and the like all of that, I really studied that and tried to implement it into this piece, and I think it was successful.
I was paying attention too. I thought about that exact conversation, taking notes when I was doing mine too. That same thing that where metal comes together, where it shapes and arcs. There's like a band of like a ridge where it meets, no matter where it is. And there's always even just a fine detail of light that always hits that ridge, and it makes a world of difference.
I really took that into heart.
Yeah, I saw you even take the piece you were working on. Was it? Yeah, you're working on another piece, right? And you got at the time, right? Or was that? Oh, I might be confusing people, but
I posted a picture of a page I was working on in the sequential.
Okay.
Yeah, the one with the Corvette. I think it was.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful page, by the way. If you haven't seen it, if you're on the Discord, you should go check it out.
There's so much on that Discord. You guys post constantly. There's so many of you.
We're almost at 100.
I don't know which handle goes with which real person name.
Ooh, so many people. Man, it's just oozing like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings.
I mean,
I've
I saw
all
this.
three, or I guess all 4 books behind me. All of the like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So huge fan. But yeah. The reference from the sword is actually a sword that my partner got me for Christmas. She got me Aragorn's sword for the 3rd movie, the King's Sword. Dude, it's way too cool. It spoiled me rotten.
That is cool.
Well, I like that you did the pose and you were able to put the armor on, and it looks so natural.
Thank you.
It looks like you just put on armor and took the reference photo to where you just did the pose and then put the armor on top of the figure. So that's really impressive. Yeah, kudos on that.
Yeah, I used several different brushes. So for like the line work, it's just like a regular pen brush. And then for some of like the armor, it's a lot of airbrushing. And then for the skin tone, I think, and the cloth, it was like an acrylic brush.
Okay.
And then the background was just painted with like the acrylic and like a watercolor brush.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely didn't put I didn't want to put too much emphasis on the background because I wanted the figure to pop out. So I was kind of fighting myself whether or not to just keep going or just leave
background cheats, man. It's all right.
Yeah.
Background cheats are A-okay.
Fade it out.
Yeah, or blur it.
fade it out.
When in doubt, blur it out. Oh.
But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
Man.
Thanks for letting me share.
Very cool.
I'm loving the characters. It is commercial time, and now we're going to talk about VisionCon Pop Culture Convention.
Woo!
You guys, I hope you've been there before. I don't know. I am sharing this one first because when they officially announced the dates this year, they did it at the Alamo Draft House on a Friday the 13th because VisionCon is moving to October, and it just happened to fall on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Whoa.
14th and, oh, you know what I'm saying? October 13th, 14th, and 15th, VisionCon at the Expo Center in downtown Springfield. I love this graphic because that always helps me remember. Oh yeah, Friday the 15th. Not to mention Spooky Month.
Favorite month, best holiday.
By far. I agree. But here are the dates and the logo. Let me give you the quick rundown. What did I not say already? Okay. VisionCon is a pop culture convention celebrating fandom since 1990. What fandom might you be asking? All of them. Whatever pop culture thing you are a fan of, it is extremely likely you are going to find that at VisionCon. It's a family-friendly convention. All fandoms are welcome. All ages are welcome. There's something for everybody. They are also a nonprofit run completely by volunteers. Volunteers are always needed, you know. Any of these volunteer conventions, you know, go sign up. Get a half price or a free ticket and enjoy yourself. See the backstage. It's really fun. I keep volunteering for these, so apparently I love it. But VisionCon, this year their charity that is benefiting is Abundant Blessings, and you really should look them up. They are amazing, wonderful charity that helps foster children feel good about themselves. You're helping them with things, clothing and different things like that. They have a special way they do it. Can't get into it right now because we have so many artists this month. I'm trying to speed through these. I will say tickets are on sale now at visioncon.net. Correct? Yes.
Yes.
visioncon.net. Vendor tables are open. I think all the artist tables are sold out. I saw a discussion in the Discord maybe about that, but there are still vendor booths open. Tickets are for sale and club tables. They're always taking sponsors. You want to sponsor them? Jump in there. And I will tell you, after the show's done tonight and I can have time to finish the graphic, there are 5 guests ready to announce so far for VisionCon. You guys are getting the scoop the day before we tell everybody else. So every Friday in March, a new guest will be announced. So more will be added. We got 5 ready, and there's 5 Fridays in March. So keep an eye out. You want them very excited. Anything I didn't say? Expo Center, downtown Springfield, visioncon.net, October 13th through 15th. See you there. And I forgot I was still sharing my screen. So.
VisionCon.
Commercial over. 3 artists left.
D3?
In 25 minutes.
D3.
Number 6. Yes, Caitlin. Chat M, you are up.
Yay! I think.
Okay. Everybody, when there's this many, you guys also have to wait very patiently.
Except for Gary.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh,
cool.
So, I did a druid. Druids are usually what I go and play. Druids or rangers. I'll sometimes go and play a rogue, but I didn't really want to just stick with the base races. So I asked a friend of mine who apparently plays every race except for the base races. And like they listed them out, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so amazing. So I tried to go and do a pure blood Yunt. I think it's called Yuntai.
Yunti, yeah.
Yeah, Yunti. Yes. So I'm very excited about playing this character when I get the chance to.
I'm picking up now. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so and instead of a adventuring pose, which is what normally is portrayed. I was like, you know what, it would be a bit different if it was more like their time to themselves, like in between the adventures.
Just chilling.
Yep.
Casual time.
And your animal friendship spell.
And I like that the drawing is drawing.
Yes, is drawing, taking notes, things like that. And I wanted to keep it kind of simple, just sticking with like 2 colors, 1 or 2 colors, plus my Payne's gray. I love working with Payne's gray. So,
Yeah, it's got a really like great soft focus kind of look to it.
Oh, I'm also using Sketchbook Pro. I've been up until recently, I've been using the free version of Sketchbook, which is awesome. Highly recommend it. And Sketchbook Pro is only like $20 on Apple and Microsoft, not Adobe. Sorry, folks. Or not Adobe. Android.
Yeah, I used to use this app and it was really great. It was good for getting by for sure.
Oh man, this thing, the Pro has definitely done a lot on there.
Yeah.
So
No, great piece though. I love the squirrel.
yeah. It kind of turned into a squirrel. I wasn't sure what I was doing.
Fantasy squirrel.
I like the use of the grays, like in all the shading and the shadows. Like it really makes the whole piece feel like cohesive with the shading.
Yeah.
Ending.
Have you ever seen how the Final Fantasy artist develops a lot of his photos? It's reminding me of a lot of his very inky watercolor drawings. They're just very soft looking all the time.
Are you talking about Yoshitaka Amato?
I believe so.
He does like all the character design. You said, yeah.
I
awesome.
have his art books, the Sky series. I have the Sky series, and I got the through 27 of the Vampire Hunter D books.
Oh yeah.
So yes.
Dying
Major fan.
Just a little.
Yeah, I've got
I see.
I would like to get the art book for it, but we'll see.
I like the color you chose for your line work too.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme going on.
Yeah,
that's an interesting take. We haven't had this kind of conversation since. It's
why are all us dudes like, what you can do the other color is black?
Well,
man,
I just did away with line work myself. I thought I was onto something, but no, apparently this is the new trend.
like, let's see, what was it? I did. What's that? Here, let's see if I can make. No, don't do that. Oh my god, I didn't label any of these.
Oh my!
So I like sit here and whenever I do my stuff. Where is the? Oh, it's even down further than that. My first ones are like bright neon whenever I first go and do stuff. So
Rachel says I like the softness of it. Yeah, and I think honestly it kind of makes sense. You kind of peek behind the curtain there. We saw where you're choosing your lighting. Like right there, that difference right there between the layer you turned on, and if you blink between those two layer, turn it off and back on again, that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, go click off that. Like go back to kind of like go backwards.
I don't know which way.
Well, take off the color. Take off all the color.
Oh, all the color. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to see the line work. Yeah, like I love that. That almost reminds me of Miyazaki type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like I would love to see you also like take the same image and approach it a little bit differently, like another version of it, because I really, really like this line work. I like this Miyazaki type thing you've got going on here. So I'd love to see you do like something with flats and then like a painted background with what you've got going on here. But I don't know, that's just me.
I have
It's like what I see, but I really like it. So.
I have 2 of Miyazaki's art books for 2 different movies.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I'm glad to know that stuff is actually coming through.
Well, it's neat to see your influences, in your work. It means that they're getting to you. You're learning stuff from them. So no, that's really, really good.
Yeah, it's funny when you're flipping through your layers, turning them on and off. I was thinking, like, man, this reminds me of something. And Gary, yeah, you're like, yeah, Miyazaki. He's like, that's it. That's what. That's something that this reminds me of. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, like that. There's like, it reminds me of like 80s, 90s, like old anime kind of stuff.
Like Asuka.
There was some. There was some concept work or something I saw of heavy metal that had this very almost kind of paper flats kind of.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Like, I can't think of it like straight off, but yeah. And now that you guys pointed it out, I'm definitely getting like major Evangelion vibes right now.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like that's what I mean.
It always comes back.
It's awesome.
I think it's neat because like with this piece alone and seeing how you have things, like there's so many different ways that you can approach what you're doing. And I think it'd be really neat to see you like take those different ways and just experiment and mess around with stuff because again, you've got some really cool stuff going on.
I think it's awesome that you showed it to an audience full of people that have like this wide range of references. You're like, oh my gosh, this is totally what I'm getting from this. Like, man, there is a treasure trove you've unlocked here. like there's like you're hitting everybody in the nostalgic bone like so easy. It's
Well, I mean, I grew up with 2 older brothers that are at least 10 years older than me. So I was watching the same stuff they were. Including some shows I probably shouldn't have been watching, but I digress.
That's all of us. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why we're artists.
Right? But I don't regret it because that stuff was like the most amazing stuff. Like probably aside from Final Fantasy, which was the first major inspiration aside from Dungeons and Dragons was Escaflowne.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
yeah, dude, Escaflowne. That's a cool.
So young.
Like it was visually amazing, and the soundtrack to that was just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the nostalgia tonight.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one who watched Escaflowne.
Right.
You're not alone.
No, the cool thing about that is like Escaflowne, if you look at the Guy Mellis and how they're like animated, that's all done by hand. Everything in Escaflowne is done by hand.
Oh yeah.
There's no CG and there's hell machines and like environments and things, working parts of a lot of stuff in that movie in that show, and even the movie's brilliantly animated.
But
the show is just it's phenomenal, and the animation in it is just wonderful. Even like the first fight scene between Vaughn and the dragon at the high school track is just
Gary, Nate, we're gonna have to think of a prompt that involves all of this because you guys are going off on a tangent.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back in my Wayback Machine myself. Part of my getting out of my anime phase of art was to stop watching anime because it inspired me too much. I had to kind of cut myself from it. But
well, I hate to pull you guys out of it because I'm enjoying this discussion. But we got 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 more.
Okie dokie.
All right. We got Daryl and Cliff left. And I don't have my D2, which I guess would be
Rock, paper, scissors.
We don't have a point in here, strangely.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Odds versus evens.
There.
Roll these.
All right, I
I
got
don't have a coin. Sorry.
two, and that was Cliff. So Daryl, you have to wait a little bit longer. Cliff, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, so I was approaching this kind of, or at least to start with, I was trying to figure out what I would be if I
thought
took
for sure you
myself and put myself directly into a D&D thing. So like just how I am now. And so I ended up, I was going to be a gnome bard, but with no charisma. I did all the board stuff without the charisma. And I did a ton of prep drawings, and it did not come together for me. So just this last weekend, I had to basically dumpster all this stuff, and I was trying to think of what about D&D makes me super excited, and it's all of the random rolling tables in all the rule books. I absolutely love all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I decided that I would do my image with random rolling tables that I made myself. And so as I was sitting down to do this, my daughter came over and she's like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing? That's really cool. I want to do that too." So she joined me in, or joined in with me on doing this. And so I made, kind of show my notebook here, like just a bunch of lists with numbers and things.
Nice.
Nice.
And so it's got all the races and classes from the player's handbook. And then as far as what the character would be doing, I had the basics like fighting and exploring and things. And then my daughter chimed in and added eating nail polish and doing nothing at home and stuff like that. Flute playing. So I figured doing all this rolling, I would end up with some kind of crazy thing. I didn't know how I was going to draw it. And when I did all the rolls, I ended up with an elf fighter who was hunting in the forest in the winter. And it was the most basic thing. And so, and we had some crazy stuff on there. She had centaur as one of the races, and it wasn't so I ended up changing some stuff. So I couldn't be an elf because I need my beard, so I have to be a half elf. And
I know the pain.
That you always have the chance of being basic, and that's okay.
That's what I mean. It was no effort on me to figure out what am I going to be. Oh, I could be like Dragonkin. That's cool. Nah, I'm human.
Yeah. I allowed myself one reroll, and it ended up being for what he was doing. So instead of hunting, he was cooking. So let's see if I can get this. So here's my guy.
Our characters are taking breaks.
Oh,
that's great.
You're like the traveling merchant. That just
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. I love the back.
I forget that you do traditional work like this, and I mean, and then I fall in love with it all over again. And
this is actually digital.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No way! Don't tell me that. You made me look at ass.
The magic's gone.
This was, I actually did this on my phone.
I'm so mystified.
Wait, you say you did this on your phone?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
So I started with a thumbnail that I did in my notebook, and took a photograph with that, and I'm able to use that as the base in the base sketch in my phone. So then
Sure,
it's built on it from there.
Nice.
That's cool.
So-
You're like that cool traveling merchant that everybody hopes to find in the woods when they're bleeding out and about to die.
For
And
real.
they...
Right?
In the middle of a long rest.
So yeah, he just had a quick throwdown with this thing, whatever it is, and
It tore him up good. It's like, is he in shorts? Is he?
yeah.
Nope, that guy got tore up.
I gotta admit, seeing the bloody knee sticking out, it kind of looked like he was sitting down with his pants down.
Right, I thought maybe he was pooping at first, but you know, it's fine.
Multitasker.
My wife
So-
was looking at that. She's like, if you're not careful.
So Rachel has a good question. How small was the thumbnail?
The thumbnail,
Because
pretty
those,
small.
Probably a thumbnail.
Those are,
those
yeah,
are-
it's-
I mean,
it's like
I don't think that's
standard.
college ruled lines, but I imagine that it's not very big.
So yeah, the thumbnail is probably about an inch tall.
Nice.
They're really tiny.
Yeah.
Man.
What is,
I
what
like.
is on your phone to make this?
I use Infinite Painter.
Okay.
It's like an app I paid $5 for like
There's so
years
many
ago.
of them now.
So did you use your
Nice.
finger or do you have like a stylus?
I've got a stylus for mine, so I
They
think
make
it's
all the
probably-
difference in the world.
Gary has
Yeah.
a phone with a stylus from like 2002 that he uses.
15, thank you.
But the stylus like tucks into the phone and everything. It's
It's
it's fantastic.
It's a Galaxy Note 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only has 20 minutes of battery, but he will not let it go because of that one feature.
I don't blame
him.
I had the Note a while back, and I loved it. That's when I got the app, and then I got rid of it, and just got a regular basic smartphone, and I hated it. So when I got a new phone, I got one with a stylus again. So
There you go.
you can use
I like how the abstract background reads as a forest, even though it's absolutely not a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of
Yeah.
the old like Chuck Jones backgrounds from the Looney Tunes, like
Yeah.
the Coyote and Roadrunner. I was
Great
just like random
comparison.
shapes, but it completely reads exactly as it's
Right.
too. So yeah, it's like a nice murky, foreboding forest, but not when you look at it.
I love that you pointed that out because my brain just made it that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or-
works so well.
I didn't even notice it was abstract.
Yeah.
It looks like a plastisol, like after you're done like screen printing a t-shirt and you got it all over the place, and
Mhm.
so you just leave
Yeah.
it there because you're too lazy to scrape it off.
There you
But it
go.
looks
Yeah.
exactly like the scene. Like that snow looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a forest. Like a dense
Yeah.
forest.
Textures.
And the composition, and it helps with the composition too. It's perfect.
Yeah, because it even reads like smoke up the center, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, the helmet.
I mean,
My-
not to steer too much away from the figure that you spent all the time on, but it's interesting how it's.
I'm
it's
loving
all
the
tied
glasses on the
together.
figure.
Yeah, the glasses are good.
but this is
Yeah.
the guy you could meet downtown though. Like
Yeah.
even with the hat, like he
Stop.
just like he's in a pub crawl and he just found it. Like
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure
Even-
St. Patrick's will be like that.
What's funny though, even though it's a profile, I still can tell that's you.
absolutely, yeah, no, without question.
That is great. That's so well done. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his helmet was actually I put that on him as a joke, and then it kind of stayed. It's like, oh, you gotta leave that now. That's my son called it a battle helmet. He's like, oh, I like
Yeah.
the battle helmet.
There was a show actually that my wife and I we only watched the first season. There's 3 of them, but it's called Northman or Norseman. It's basically kind of a
Oh,
comedy, almost satire Viking show. And there's a whole bit about a guy who comes out for the first time with a helmet with horns on it, and they just make fun of him. Like that's ridiculous. That guy does not look like a Viking. Like it's,
Gotta grab your helmet.
he's just making a fashion statement, and it tells a story, and they're like laughing at him, like you look dumb.
I really like it.
Yeah, this is cool, man. This is like I said, this almost seems like a modern mashup. Like it just feels real for the time, but it's also like just a cool
Well,
dude with a cool beard roasting whatever the heck that is on a stick.
For me, it didn't feel fantasy enough, even though he had elf ears and everything, until I put the helmet on him. Then I was like,
when all else fails, put a helmet on him.
put a horn helmet on there.
When you can't design your character, put horned helms and then just make a whole scene full of characters. There. We're learning a lot today. Well done, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
Who did this month's prompt image? Was it you? Was it?
It was Josh, wasn't it?
Was it Josh?
Yes.
It was Josh this time, right?
Who's not here.
Right. Yeah. I thought so. Whenever I saw his art style, because then yet again another person who put like a handful of examples of what we're going for. It's like, man, you are disarming yourself. Like that's why. Why would you do that? But that seems to be, maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know.
It happens 3 months, I think. The prompt always takes, or the cover image takes a really good possible noise. Then there was one. Are you still awake, Hero?
Yes, I'm good.
Full of awesome art, but I feel like, I mean, we're gonna be a little bit long, not as long as I would have expected.
Actually, I have a special surprise as well after this one. So
I'll go fast.
no, you don't have to go fast, but
All right. So I have never played Dungeons and Dragons. So all of my knowledge is anecdotal. I've filled out 5 different character sheets. Like we've gotten groups together 5 times with different people. I filled it out, and then we've never been able to get our schedules to work.
that's D&D.
That's
That's about as D&D as it gets, man.
How it works.
So,
Isn't that playing D&D?
so that was most of my knowledge base. So I decided I didn't want to do anything look like an animal since we did the animal prompt last month.
Mm.
And that was really my main guidance. And I thought I was doing well. I took reference photos this weekend because I thought this week was going to be super empty, and then it did not end up empty at all. So my ideas kind of kept getting shrunk down and down to where I worked really hard on the face. And so I cropped it to the face. So,
It counts. Wow.
Yep. All right, let's see. Is that showing up?
Oh yeah. You look cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm happy that somebody recognized it, because I was like, I just was reading through the different races, and I was like, this looks kind of interesting and somewhat still humanoid. So yeah, Firbolg, I went with a cleric over a druid. I said just because clerics get to play with undead things, and that kind of suits my fancy. So
Well-rounded group.
yeah, so
Yeah, you got the cool hair.
that's where I landed. Yeah.
Rachel immediately, Furbog!
Yep, for someone who's never played D&D, you nailed Furbolg. So,
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
and that's like one of the popular races, so good job.
oh, nice.
Yeah. I thought maybe troll for
Just
a
learned
moment
about
because of the
them.
hair, the mohawk style hair and the long ears, and I was like, well, that's more World of Warcraft. I need to get out of that brain.
Oh yeah. No, so it was yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was wanting an actual like self-portrait, so that's why I went more painterly whatnot. But to give a little bit of kind of an idea working backwards, like that was the reference photo that I had my daughters take so I could have layers, and that's why I'm wearing the fur jacket, because I wanted some textures in there. I had the idea that like I would have like little magical doodly doos on the belt, maybe like a little fairy
That's an
trapped in a
industry
little
term.
basket. So, and then did some manipulation to kind of get the facial features like they mentioned them.
I love that
giant-
smolder.
Yeah.
You added more smolder.
Let's see. I've got my glasses off and I'm trying to see. But
It's just squinting. It's not...
Well, there goes that compliment.
So, and then this was where I was going, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to get this done, so I just cropped it down. But the original idea was to have like a little zombie raccoon or a crow on the staff
Mm.
to kind of push the cleric bit. But as the days went on, I started dropping things fairly quickly. So this is where we ended up.
Rachel mentioned I like the T-ball. Is that what that is? That
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, that was gonna turn it into my little fairy cage. Yeah.
That is.
It was just me going around the house going, I can pretend with this.
I can pretend with this.
Those brush strokes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going through like the deep recesses of all the paintbrushes. As every time I find one I like, and then I forget it forever
Yep.
again. So,
That's why I like the Procreate has that recents, and it's like okay.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Photoshop you can actually create like your own little like sub of your most commonly used ones.
Yeah, I need to look into that because I used to have them named, and then I lost it. So
And then every time it updates, you lose them all, and you gotta figure.
yeah. So
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. Like you have a very simple approach, but there's a lot of definition in it. Like it looks photo-ish. You know what I mean? Like it looks
Detail.
The modeling on the skin is really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was enjoying
A little
that.
red on the tip of the nose and the ears.
Bam.
Well, I'm glad it's recognizable. That's my main
there's
That's a great job.
But Nate, you were talking about how hard you were having trouble figuring out the paint stuff. Like this is my default. Every time I try to do cartoony stuff, I just want to like stab myself with the pencil.
Dude, there is something liberating about this style, like because with the style that I do when I do heavy line work, and then I do I have a process that and I learned it to do Potbelly Mammoth, and after doing it for several years, like I just got good at a process. But like there is not really room for error when everything is very sharp and clean. And then like my shadows, I have to like layer like heavy shapes on top of it. There is something about like the whole painter where I'm like really nervous about covering something or shading something because it could ruin it. But at the same time, it's like, well, all I have to do is just sample the color next to it and just paint it back to the shape that I want it. And it's like, so it's almost like sculpting with color instead of like but when you're coloring in a coloring book and you go over the line without a Control-Z, but with this you totally can do that, and so it is very liberating if you get it's a different mindset, and I have a lot of respect for people who just jump into this right away because this looks like border, this is pseudo realism just from looking at it, and just because of the small details you put in the eyes and just the texture of the fur, like the hair, like at a glance and from a distance this looks like it's just impressive.
It's just a cosplay kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to switch out. I'm going to see if anybody notices my LinkedIn profile picture has changed to this.
That'll do it.
Dude.
Wow.
All right, so
we
very
have
well
one
done.
more commercial
Okay.
because you guys make me.
The last commercial.
The last commercial is Clique Games, a small two-person board game publishing company out of Springfield, Missouri. 3 games, super family fun, small box. They play right out of the box. They're quick and easy to learn. They all play in under an hour. And available now at playcogames.com. So go buy some games. All right. Nate, you said you had something.
This is what happens when she talks about herself. Like it's a thing. We do a thing. I'm part of a thing. Okay, move on. Like,
if I had a new game, I might take some time. But you guys have seen it. If you want to show you've seen it.
okay,
right.
so it turns out Adam McLaughlin couldn't be with us tonight. However, fun fact.
He was in the chat. Did you notice?
He is in the chat.
Okay.
Yes, and he had to duck out. He had some family things to take care of. He saw but he's been messaging me on my phone, so I don't mean to be rude. Hopefully, I'm trying to like read him what in between because I don't have our main screen up while we're sharing, so I don't want to block anything. So I'm like texting him real quick, and he goes, "Oh, I feel so stupid because I totally did something that's different than everybody else. I drew myself as a D&D monster." I'm like, "What?" And you didn't share it? It's not like he
That's
didn't
cool.
drop it in the server or anything. He goes,
Right.
"No, I didn't really get around to it, and I didn't really get to finish it." And then he shares it with me, and I'm like, I'm putting this on because we're still live. You know that. And so here we go. You ready? Yeah, I got his permission. He's totally cool with it. But all right.
Oh, wait, his link.
It's a
Can I throw those up?
You're the big bad evil guy.
All
Share
right.
screen. People at home probably already got a little bit of it, but here we go. Boink.
Boink, boink. Ooh.
That's
Oh,
great.
wow.
I love it.
That's
And I love that he's
awesome.
wearing glasses still.
And it looks like his profile. If you see his profile picture that he has, like on earlier it was shown on the Tremendicon guest profile. He has a self portrait of himself in a very similar art style to this. So he basically so that is 100% him as a monster in his eyes.
That's so cool. I love that line work.
This is who we have to go up against when we're doing our campaign, our
Yeah.
one shot.
Absolutely. This is the BB.
I want to make him a. I was
Sure.
like, and that's something I wanted to mention to him in the text was that I wanted to make him a boss fight, and it doesn't matter if I lose. Like I don't mind.
Of course, David Stanfield's like, I want Adam to make a mini of this.
Well, yeah. So he was texting me about the hammer from mine. So
Oh,
he
nice.
says he wants to do it in a campaign. We can make a life-size version of foam and we can make a life-size version of it. But I want a 3D printed like this on a throne to go with the troll that he did for us for for his reimagined monsters. No, the timing of it was this awesome. I was like, you do know we're live still, right? Like that's it's not over. Like so yeah, I was rudely scrambling to download this and get it up, but this is Adam McLaughlin being Adam McLaughlin, like the best Adam McLaughlin that he knows how. And if you're still watching this, man, he probably went to bed already. But
thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
dude.
man, much love, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're
Awesome.
Bad.
Don't ever try to deny us your art.
Yeah.
We will get it.
Yeah, because you give us an inch,
Way or
we'll
another.
take it and run.
You mentioned a life-size hammer he was wanting to make of yours.
I hope that'd be awesome. Because
Now,
my mom
what
used to
is it?
work in a
They-
fabrication lab for doing prosthetics and orthotics, like making arms and limbs and whatnot. And when I was in, I did LARPing when I was in like junior high, like late elementary school, like in junior high. And my mother made all my weapons because she had a fabrication lab at her disposal, and so we could absolutely do it, and it would be awesome. But yeah,
Hey, I don't just want the one-off campaign since you mentioned that. I want you guys all dressed up.
you know what's funny?
You're acting it out.
The armor that I put on the reference and the color palette that I chose for my character actually came from a costume that I still have. It's the last Halloween costume I ever bought. It was several years ago. It was for a Halloween party at Kevin Watkins' house several years ago. I bought it for like $15. It was a year that I saw Gary. You were there. You showed up at the end, like as we were leaving. But you did. You were dressed up as a character, like an original horror character that you came up with. It had the bag with the one eye cut out. Yeah. So that one, ever since that night, it's been hanging up in the closet, and I still have the huge like shoulder pauldrons. And I was actually considering wearing them, but there's no way I can get them to stay. But it's just so the color and a lot of the armor was inspired by that costume. But it got a little too real for me, so I didn't want to So yeah, I mean, these pieces exist. These things can happen.
Why do you think I gave myself comfortable clothes, man?
Yeah.
All right, we are going to do a very quick plug zone where you guys can just say, if you want to, where people can find more of your stuff, what you're up to. Just take a minute or two to tell us a little bit. I'm going to go in the same order you guys presented. Then we will tell you what we're doing next month and the collaboration that's happening. It's going to be beautiful. And then we'll sign off.
Yeah.
After we ramble, we usually ramble for a minute, but we won't. Okay, Gary, what's up with you?
www.artistgarybedell.com. You can get to my Facebook, get to my Instagram from there, and you can find me on both under Artist Gary Bedell. I keep it real simple. I usually post in there, post in the Discord a lot. It's Clever Kaiju, so please join Clever Kaiju. I'm very, very active in there. So yeah, come hang out with me sometime.
Nate.
Yeah. So I am Nate. I do I did a webcomic series called Potbelly Mammoth right there. It's a series that's on currently volume 1, which is also a book, is currently on the website potbellymammoth.com. I have been deeply considering the second volume of starting to release that on the website through and with support of Patreon. So I'll make that choice soon, but I look forward to sharing it because I've had it for a while and I think it's really good. So there's also the Mammoth Press Multicade, which is behind me, that beautiful arcade cabinet. It's a YouTube series on Mammoth Press where I interview and basically play retro like arcade games with entrepreneurs and artists, and I interview them. Many of the artists that you probably know in our area have already been on episodes, especially Gary. And I'm actually like a couple of episodes recorded and edited into another batch, another season. So I'll be doing that soon. So Mammoth Press on YouTube. I'm a tattoo artist at Body Creations Inc. on Sunshine and Battlefield or Glenstone here in Springfield. So that's usually what I'm doing if I'm not working on Clever Kaiju stuff, like behind the scenes, like media recording and a lot of the posts you probably see on social media is me as well. So yeah, that's kind of my realm.
Very nice, very nice. Cat R, you were next.
Oh, hello. So I have a whole bunch of different ones. Most of them are under the name like It's That Cat. But I also have a link tree that I have a lot of my stuff linked on, and that one's just cat r-Caitlin Robinson at linktree.com. And you can find that on my Instagram. It's that cat. But yeah,
working on
a lot of stuff. We're trying to revive one of our projects that we work on together called Reverie, which is a comic book about two brothers who live in this big giant tree that's unfortunately dying from some kind of infection.
Yeah.
So they're tasked with trying to find either a cure or a way to make a new home for their people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Keep it updated. Who's next? John.
I'm John. I'm most active on Instagram at John Osborne Art at Instagram. Also at my webpage, osbornecomics.com. Right now I've got my book Frankenaut in previews, and it's coming into stores May 3rd. So check with your local stores, see if they're carrying it. It's 90 pages of a lot of ghoulish sci-fi art that I hope you guys like. So, but that's it.
Woo!
Caitlin, how about you?
Yeah, so you can follow me, CaitlinBlame.com. And then I've got my webcomic, MoxieComic.com, which updates approximately once a week. I am also going to be tabling at Planet Comic Con in Kansas City next month. So you can stop by my booth. I will be selling the first volume of my comic that we kickstarted last year, and as well as some prints, including some D&D stickers and a print of dogs playing D&D, which is super adorable. You come by my booth, check me out there. So
right on.
Turn out any of your pin click art?
I think I've got a couple pieces. I'll have to check. I haven't ordered my prints yet, so.
I think you should do the Medusa one. Like
That's the second one I was thinking about.
All right, Haley, how about you?
Oh, not much. You can find me on Instagram at cyan_stash. All the links, I'm sure Deanna's very graciously posted somewhere at some point. And you can talk to me. I'll say hi. You can talk. I'll be there. I've got nothing going on. I'm at home doing art. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dylan, anything you want to share?
Hi, I'm Dylan Swift. Working with Kat on that Reverie comic. I don't really have a website and I don't really use social media yet. So
I help him with a lot of his social media stuff because he's an old man. He does not like.
But the big project, I guess, right now is this comic called Bucket the Barbarian. I've been working on it for a while. It will be at VisionCon this year. 8 chapters, 100 pages.
Wow.
So that's going to be the. So yeah, VisionCon and OzCon. I guess I'll be there. I'll also be having a bunch of stuff at. There's this new game store called, what was it? Nowhere Store.
Nowhere Store.
Yeah, that's going to be. Oh, I'm saying it. I can't remember the address.
Well, it's on Glenstone.
Okay,
here in
somewhere.
Springfield.
Going to be doing some like miniature stuff there, some comic book stuff there, kind of thing. I'm, branching out, I guess. But yeah, figuring stuff out. That's what I'm doing this year.
All right, Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh Metter. You can find me at Josh_Metter_art at Instagram. I've been working on a new detective book that I just finished writing, the first issue. I'm going to span it through about 8 issues. So that's the only thing I'm working on right now other than going to school. But yeah, I'll try to be at Tremendicon and VisionCon, just walking around, hanging out. So you should come too.
Right on.
Kat M.
You can find me on Instagram at Kat M Illustrations. Commissions are open, but as far as other stuff, not really much is going on there.
Gary's got you busy doing Tremendicon art.
Yes.
She helps with the design and stuff. She does a
All
great
the
job.
con stuff.
Yeah,
Great job.
All right, Clique.
Well, I keep an outdated website. It's at cgamblestudio.com. I'm on Instagram at cliff_gamble, but I haven't posted in a while on there. I'm on the Discord, Dirty Basilisk. If you ever see that name pop up, that's me. And that's about it. I did forget to mention when I was presenting that I actually live probably 12 minutes away from the birthplace of D&D. So,
what?
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
I'm surprised you're not like in his yard with a flashlight. Just
Yeah, well, they opened a like a D&D museum at their old, like the very old TSR headquarters.
Oh.
And they have a map that they'll give you, and it takes you around town, and like you can go visit all the old places that TSR had stuff at. So it's kind of
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
Daryl, how about you?
I wrote it down. Instagram, Airlaben. Yeah. I do visual effects most of the time, so this is the only time I get to do my art. That's why I like the pin click.
And we love having you, man. Yeah. If you can't talk about it, just IMDb him, Google his name, you will find him. I do it often just to keep track, nothing creepy.
You'll be on the artist track at Tremendicon.
Nope.
I lured you in.
Yeah.
He'll be presenting some fun stuff. All right. Well, that's everybody. So I guess now we have to tell you about Thursday, March 30th at 8 p.m.
Oh
It's a Kids and Artists Monsters collaboration. They are collaborating with the brilliant minds of children. So,
Oh wow, that's cool.
That's so fun.
Gary, you want to tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, essentially what we're doing is we're collecting monster drawings from children like monsters and creatures they've made up, and then each of us are going to take a different one and interpret it in our style.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we're going to see how that goes. I think it's going to be pretty rad.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yep.
And then Adam will make miniatures of all of it.
Yeah, of all of them. We'll find them under our pillows.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I need you guys to go to bed so I can sneak in.
We'll hear a knocker on the bathroom door, like, dude, I'm occupied. Slide something under the door, like, dude.
I'll still take it, but that
thank
was
you.
weird.
You're right. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody that stuck around a little longer tonight. Thank you guys for joining us and giving us that awesome arts like you always do. And unless anybody has anything to add, we'll just see you guys March 30th.
30th. Mark your calendars.
Oh man, that's like right at the last of the day, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
All right, cool. Cool outro. Go.
Bye.
Bye.